My name is Tabari Coleman. I'm the project director with the Anti-Defamation League's A World of Difference Institute. The A World of Difference Institute is the largest education program of the Anti-Defamation League, providing resources and materials for educators, administrators, school systems, primarily focusing on anti-bias and inclusion training. I got involved with social justice advocacy for a number of different reasons. I'm a military brat. My father was in the Air Force, and we traveled overseas almost his entire career. As a result of those experiences overseas, I was just so used to being around a lot of different people and different cultures. Plus, I was an American born and raised abroad, so that helped me appreciate difference. It was those experiences growing up that led me to seeking out a profession that allowed me to talk about these things, that allowed me to share those thoughts with others and learn from others. I mean, this is an ongoing process. I moved from Illinois, moved to St. Louis. I had one incident when I first moved, where I was sitting outside my apartment building, and the police came by, and as they pulled up, they got out. They said, "You have some identification?" I said, "What do I need identification for?" They said somebody called the police and said that there was somebody that didn't belong there, basically sitting in front of the building. And I pulled out my key and walked to the door and opened the door and said, "I live here." And rather than taking that as an opportunity to apologize, he basically said, well, then I needed to go around and introduce myself to all my neighbors, so that way the situation wouldn't happen again. This was actually an African-American police officer that came up and said this to me. So, when I mentioned earlier about internalized depression, I think that that's something that more of us need to explore and think about. So in that situation with that black police officer, maybe a lot of the people that he encountered might be African-American, and they might be committing crime. That doesn't mean that we're all that way, but in his mind, that might have been what he was thinking when he approached me. One of the things that I've realized in facilitating is that I do have different triggers, and I have to think about what the root cause of those triggers are in order for me to be able to work on them. I remember an incident my senior year. I was on the football team, we're playing, it was during practice one day, and I got into it with one of the guys, and he called me a nigger. And of course I grabbed him, and a scuffle ensued, and the coach stopped practice and broke us up, brought the whole team together, and had a conversation with us about that word. And about the fact that when they came to the United States, people would actually use that word against them because they looked very much like I did. They came in different shades. Some were lighter than me, some were darker than me. And that experience stuck with me, that he would share that with them, because he's absolutely right. It's just another way of separating ourselves, but in reality we do have so much more in common